afternoon, one and all. Today, we have gathered here for the inauguration of the Science Club. This day is also being celebrated as the International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking all over the globe. Prayer is a source of hope. It is that one thing that helps us through the darkest of days. Let us begin this occasion by invoking the blessings of God with a prayer song. On this auspicious occasion, I would like to welcome all the dignitaries gathered virtually for the inauguration of the Science Club. First of all, I would like to welcome our most beloved principal, Reverend Dr. Matthew Thengambali CMI, who, by his administrative skills and planning, has taken our school to heights of excellence. I take this occasion to welcome you, Father, to this august function. Next, we have with us Dr. Sheena G. Soman, Psychiatry alumni of Government Medical College, Trivandrum, as the chief guest of our function. She started her career as a research coordinator in Sri Chitra Institute of Medical Sciences and Technology. Mrs. Sheena is currently working as consultant psychiatrist in Government Mental Health Center, Perurkada. She has also established a de-addiction center in mental hospital and is in charge of it. She is also a part of the DNB faculty. Some of her achievements include publishing of papers in national and international journals, speaker and resource person in national conferences, awareness programs and media. She has also held key positions in doctors and psychiatrists associations. It is indeed my honor and privilege to welcome Mrs. Sheena G. Soman to today's function. In spite of her busy schedule, she had consented to grace this occasion with her esteemed presence. I welcome you, ma'am, to this august function. The backbone of our institution, Mr. Thomas Mani sir, is most heartily welcome. Last but not the least, I would like to welcome our respected teachers, parents, and all the members of the Science Club who have gathered here, without whom none of this would have been made possible. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Now we'll be having the logo release of our Science Club along with the objectives and activities of this year.
To begin with, we have the student leaders of the Science Club from the higher secondary and high school section respectively. From the higher secondary section, we have David Nayanam Verghese of class 11P. From the high school section, we have Amin Khan D from class 9Q and Irene Sonu from class 9P as the student leaders. The objectives of the Science Club involves to improve scientific attitude and provide opportunities for practice in scientific method, to actively encourage the use of engineering technology in learning science, to better understand the scientific knowledge through science experiments, to allow children to work in the field of their interest and hence their skills in presentation, to maintain the students with knowledge on past and recent inventions in science. Students will get opportunities for the following activities: to organize seminars, lectures, quiz, debates, etc. Celebrating scientifically important days, holding science exhibitions and fair, preparing mini projects, charts, science models, posters, etc.
It is our dear Principal, Reverend Father Dr. Matthew Tengumbali CMI's guidance and support that has made today's event possible. So I would now like to invite Reverend Father Dr. Matthew Tengumbali CMI to address the gathering.
Good afternoon, my dear children, respected teachers, parents. Very happy to meet again you and talk to you. And now this time I'm here just to inaugurate the Science Club activities for the academic year 2021-22. It is clearly mentioned in the national education policy that during the school days, school must see that a scientific temper has to be developed among our children. So, the main aim of the science club is to develop students' interest in science and to introduce them to a variety of scientific disciplines and to develop the various skills related to science and technology. The science club in schools are places for students who are interested in science to learn about different branches of science. They'll develop scientific attitude and genuine interest in science, and also can supplement the work of the classroom and give the syllabus a practical dimension, and that can be called a science club. The objective of this club should be to develop a general interest in science, to inculcate scientific attitude and provide opportunities for training the scientific method, to develop interest in scientific hobbies, to develop habits of exploration and creativity facilities, to encourage individual and group activities, to develop in children a sense of healthy competition, to make the students and public a scientific mind, to stimulate active participation and initiative among students in learning process, to keep the students in touch with the recent developments in science, and to provide a challenging opportunities especially to the gifted children. You can take various activities while you are there being a part of the science club, like organizing lectures, debates, seminars and symposiums, holding science exhibitions that every year we have science fair, and last year we had an online science exhibition in which large number of students of Christ Nagar participated, and even students from abroad had watched it, what has been done by you. Then celebrating birthdays of eminent scientists, participating in science, active participation in science fair by the students of the science club, conducting visual programs of a scientific interest, preparing charts, posters, models, etc., developing different games related to science, displaying science news, improvising and preparing handmade apparatus, general reading of scientific literature, conducting essay competitions on scientific problems, managing a first aid squad in the school, participating in scientific hobbies like preparation of soap, ink, candles, toys, bleaching powder, nail polish and even chalks. Helping the community by way of a demonstration on health and hygiene, etc., can be done by or can be organized by the science club students. Students who are actively involved and participate in science club with his own interest or her own interest will be able to develop the scientific attitude naturally. Thus, when a pupil having scientific attitude to face a problem, he or she can easily identify and it can solve it effectively by their own effort. Science club is a place when children works with many other children. So children who participate in different activities will be in a position to cooperate, to develop the skill of communication, to solve the problems that come across, and to organize different programs. And it will help them to come out from their inhibitions. Being a part of any club or any activity and you participate with all your heart and mind, remember, even without knowing, you develop different skills which are necessary to become successful in life. So science club channelize the energies of students and make use of their skills and talents, which satisfy their instincts and urge and help their overall personality developments. Though this activity, that something which we are doing it online because of the present situation, learning will help you in learning of science in a joyful manner. Science clubs caters to freedom and expression. When you participate voluntarily in different activities, definitely you will start enjoying your learning process as well as your interest in science. Being a student of Christ Nagar, I request the entire student fraternity to be active in various club activities which is being organized under the leadership of your teachers, and thereby develop a scientific temper which will definitely help you in your future. I want to see that the activities are being held periodically without disturbing your academics, and it's being carried on till the end of the academic year. I wish all of you the very best, and I declare the activities of the Science Club of Christ Nagar Higher Secondary School hereby inaugurated. God bless you. Hail Christ Nagar. Thank you.
Thank you, Father, for your valuable and inspiring words which motivated us in a very positive way. Thank you very much, sir. Now, I proudly welcome one of our Science Club members, Shreya Suresh of 8R, to show an experimental display, Repurpose Food Waste. Welcome, Shreya.
I am Shreya Suresh. My topic is repurpose food waste. Based on the idea of my topic, I would like to demonstrate an easy method to repurpose food waste that can help our environment and enrich the soil of our garden plants. There are two major reasons to repurpose food waste. First is that massive amounts of food rot in landfills. This releases powerful greenhouse gases into the atmosphere like methane, which is a major contributor to global warming. The second reason is that food waste is an important component of compost, an organic material that helps to renew and rejuvenate depleted soil. Once it is processed, it can be used by families, community gardens, environmental groups, horticultural schools, local government to beautify our towns and cities. So, it is an easy way for us as an individual to repurpose food waste and have a positive environmental impact in our communities. Now, let us go and look at the things that are required for a successful kitchen bed.
3-layer containers, composting medium, Kitchen waste.
Now you can see how I use the kitchen bin to produce organic compost.
This is the food waste from my home. In this, I have fruit and vegetable scraps, peels, cores, and seeds. This is the kitchen bin. It has 3 layers. It has a channel for airflow. Here also there is air channel for airflow. You can see the previous day's waste getting processed. Now I am going to put my today's food waste. We have to drop the food waste like this. And make sure that there is no water content in the food waste that you are dropping. This is the composting medium. You can get it from municipality or corporation or some private shops. This is a composting medium. We want to fill it and we should make sure that 2-inch thickness of composting medium is placed on the top of food waste so that the worms won't come out. Then close the lid. This is a processed organic compost. You will get it in this stage in 2 months. We can use this organic compost to enrich the soil of our vegetable plants and garden plants. These are some of the vegetable plants and garden plants that are at my home, and I use this organic compost to enrich the soil. This is one of the way we can stop massive amount of food rots in landfill, and it can help to prevent the rise of global warming.
To conclude, I have demonstrated 2 compelling reasons to repurpose food waste. It is very much required for us to survive. Thank you.
Thank you, Shreya. That was really informative. Now, may I invite the chief guest of the day, Dr. Sheena G. Soman, to address the gathering.
Thank you. It's a great opportunity to meet you all children here. And it's a great occasion that I could be a part of your science club inauguration. Children, you know what is the importance of today, June 26th? Today is the day, International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking, right? So, as the person who introduced me, you might know that I am a psychiatrist. I work in the de-addiction facility in Mental Health Center, Trivandrum. And for past 7 years, I have been seeing a lot of cases, addiction across the lifespan. My youngest patient was a 12-year-old. And I believe there are children from 5th standard to 12th standard here. I don't want to give you a lecture or class on substance abuse, the issues of substance abuse and all. But I would like to indirectly come to the topic. I would like to say a small story for you children. So, once upon a time, in a forest, a tiger was standing and smoking. So, don't fantasize whether a tiger can smoke, because since I'm going to talk about addictions, I thought I will take some animals as my help. Okay. So this tiger was standing there and smoking, and there came a fox. He said, "Oh tiger, why are you smoking? See, this forest is so beautiful and the nature is so beautiful. You should not damage your health smoking. So come on, let's go to and enjoy this forest." So the tiger thought, yes, it's a good message. I should not smoke. I will as well as go with this fox and see the forest. So the tiger and the fox started walking. After some time, they came across an elephant. So this elephant, what was the elephant doing? He was actually putting some smokeless tobacco inside his trunk and snorting it. So the fox and the tiger told the elephant, "What are you doing, elephant? This is very harmful to your health. This is such a beautiful forest, such a beautiful day. Let us leave this and have a walk around the forest." The elephant also thought, yes, I should enjoy the surroundings. I should not, enjoy a bad habit. So he left the tobacco there, and with the tiger and the fox started enjoying the forest, having a long walk. Then they came across a lion. So what was the lion doing? The lion was actually, he was enjoying a drink. Then the fox said, "Oh, mighty king lion, why are you spoiling your health? You are drinking. This is a beautiful forest. Come with us. Leave that alcohol, leave the drink, and come with us." What did the lion do? He gave a slap to the fox. So the tiger and the elephant were surprised. Why did the lion beat the fox? He was giving such a good message. "Oh, king, why did you beat him? He was actually saying a good thing." Then the lion said, "Oh, this guy, you don't know him. He's very nasty. He's very shrewd. He was taking ganja, cannabis, and made me roam around the forest yesterday." So the fox was actually taking a very potent substance like cannabis, and he was actually, taking the others for a ride. So why did I tell you this story? Because 7 years back, when I started, or when the de-addiction center started, I thought I would be getting cases of patients for alcohol use. I might be getting cases for nicotine, smoking. These are the common substances that we know of. But within 2 years, I started getting patients, very young patients, who were addicted to cannabis, who were addicted to opioids, who were addicted to new psychoactive substances, which were new in the medical field itself. So from this story, I'm not saying that nicotine or alcohol is better or cannabis is worse. All the substance of use has its own pros and cons. So just an information, there are actually 11 groups of substances, from nicotine, alcohol, cannabis, opioids, stimulants, anabolic steroids. All these classes of substances are harmful to you. So why am I talking to you children? You might be wondering, anyway, we are not using this. Maybe adults use it. But when you look at the report, the World Health Report, it is stated that across the world, during this pandemic, the use of cannabis actually, it became quadrupled. That is 4 times than it was in 2019. And again, 40% of youngsters believe that cannabis is not a drug, or cannabis is okay to use. So across the world, young population have different opinions about using these kind of substances. Many reports have stated that youngsters can start substances as early as 13 years of age. Imagine, 13 years means you are in your 8th or 9th standard, you are in your 7th or 8th standard, right? So that is the time for you to study, to participate in your science club, maybe to sing, dance. That is the time when some of our children can actually get exposed to the substances. So whenever I get patients in my hospital, I ask them, at what age did you take your first puff or cigarette, or at what age you had a beer, or what age you drank? And surprisingly, most of them said that by the age of 14 or by the age of 15. So what does that point to you? A person who starts these substances early in life can actually land up in trouble, can actually end in a dependence problem, can actually end in abuse. So substance use can cause dependence disorders like alcohol dependence, nicotine dependence, cannabis dependence, which requires medical interventions. And early age of onset or early age of initiation is one of the most important risk factor for developing these conditions. So that doesn't mean after 18 years you can start. The problem is what happens in your what happens in adolescent period. Adolescent period is the age from 12 years to 19 years. I'm sure all of you are in that age category. It's the most beautiful phase of our life. Why? You might not have much responsibilities now, just academics, being children, enjoying life, right? Now you are having an extended holiday, you are staying at home, but your academics is online. So in a way, you need not bother about tomorrow's. You need to just concentrate on your today's. So why the adolescent period? Why is it so significant? As a doctor, let me ask you, which organ cannot be replaced? Organ means you have eyes, you have ears,
Heart,
right? You have a
heart,
heart.
lungs,
Brain,
lungs, lungs,
brain,
lungs,
brain,
brain, lungs, brain, lungs,
So you can replace just one organ. You can replace lungs. You can actually heart transplant. You can have a liver transplant. But you cannot transplant what? The brain. Brain, yes. So you're born with an organ. That's the only organ you cannot replace, right? So why it's so important? As a doctor who deals with the mind, I feel that once the brain is damaged, it's very difficult to get it back to a normal state, or that normalcy of health. It's very difficult. While for heart, for stomach, for liver, you can have a lot of medications or treatment by which you can actually regain some of its health. But what about the brain? There are two stages of brain growth. One is definitely when you are inside your mother's womb or intrauterine period. So just before you are born, your brain has attained almost 80% of its growth. By 2 years of age, the brain has attained 96% capacity of an adult brain. So in fact, the brain you have now is almost developed completely by the age of your 2 years. But what happens during by 12 years to 19 years? There is a second stage of brain development. Yes, right now you are having a boosting up of growth inside your brain. So a lot of new brain cells are being, evolving. Some brain cells are being cut off, just like you prune a garden. Our friend showed composting and how it can be used in the garden. So just like a plant grows by cutting off its unwanted branches, by giving adequate fertilizer, that is the same stage in which your brain is now. So this is the stage when the brain decides who you should be, who you want, whether you are going to be a doctor, engineer, a musician, a dancer, a scientist, whatever you are going to be in your life. It is the brain that you have now, the brain which is growing now, that decides. So the adolescent brain development is one of the most important phase of this period. What happens with adolescent brain development? You know that brain has an area on the front and area behind. So right now, the back of the brain is more prominent, while the front brain is immature. But it is the front brain which actually controls, decides, discipline, organization, everything is maintained by the front of the brain. Well, the back of the brain actually makes you, impulse driven, enjoying, laughing, humor, or you are more in the moment. So what happens with substance use? It is usually the back of the brain which tells you to take a substance. Like, oh, you take this puff of smoke, or you take something, it will relax you, it will excite you. That kind of messages are usually given by the back of the brain. Mostly the temporal region, the limbic brains. The higher class students may know all these areas. While the frontal brain, the front of the brain will tell you, no, don't do that. Your teacher, my parent has told me, don't use this. Or my teachers have told me, trained me to understand this is not good for me. But usually the back of the brain has more predominance at this age. So what happens? The messages from the frontal brain telling you to take, don't use substance, be cautious, no need to jump into these habits. Those messages are actually put in the background, and the impulsiveness, the danger kind, the risk behaviors, or the novelty of the curiosity, all this can actually make you try out substances if you get an opportunity. So once you once you grow, the front of the brain also matures and it becomes balanced. So in between 12 to 18 years, this balance is not there. That is one reason, as I told you earlier, that my patients, I always ask them the time at which they start their substance use, and they tell you 15 years. So there are a lot of studies which tell you, which states that a person who doesn't drink or smoke or use any substances till 25 years of age, they are actually protected from substance use disorders. But a person who starts substances earlier in their life actually can have a lot of mental health problems. In alcohol, there are a lot of studies which say that someone who initiates drinking before 25 years of age can have a dependence problem by about their 30s. So here, what I would like to say is that your brain is maturing, your brain is growing, your brain is deciding what you want to be, your brain is deciding whether you should be focused on your academics, whether you should focus on your sports, whether you should focus on your music. All these decisions are being made by the brain now. Your attention, your interest in this learning process, everything is decided by the brain. That is why sometimes parents tell me, oh, my child was very studious. He was brilliant. He was smart till his 7th or 8th standard. After that, he lost interest in academics, or he is like, very lazy. He has lost his motivation to study. So why this change? Why you can study so well till 7th standard or 8th standard, and after that you lose interest? This is again due to the brain development. The brain actually looks at you, looks at your thoughts, and decides which choice, which way you need to go. So what happens with substances? Do you enjoy eating ice cream? Children, do you enjoy eating ice cream?
Yes, teacher.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
What about
Yes,
chocolate?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Right.
Ma'am.
Most of us enjoy ice cream, chocolate at this age because it's sweet. It actually, you enjoy the taste of it. So I'm telling you, when you're taking an ice cream or when you're taking a chocolate, there is something happening inside your brain. There is a molecule called dopamine. So when you go to your higher classes, you will learn about it. So this dopamine actually, it is the main chemical or substrate which decides what you should like. Some might like chocolate ice cream more, some might like vanilla ice cream more. So what happens when somebody takes chocolate ice cream? He gets 50 molecules of dopamine, 50 dopamine molecules released in your brain. And when he takes vanilla ice cream, maybe he gets 25 molecules of dopamine. So which would he prefer? He would definitely prefer the chocolate ice cream, which gives him 50 molecules of dopamine. So you are having an exam. Next day you are having an exam. So if you are given a choice of writing an exam or going out to play with your friends, like football, cricket, or whatever. Maybe Corona doesn't give you that opportunity now. Still, if you are given a choice, which will you prefer? Studying or playing?
Studying. 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 Studying.
Studying.
Studying.
Fine, fine. So what happens in studying? Again, a lot of dopamine is released. So if you are enjoying studying, that means you are getting maybe 50 molecules of dopamine. But sometimes some kids like playing a lot, right? They may get 100 molecules of dopamine by playing. So when you get a choice, when you are given a choice of studying or playing, what happens? The brain tells you, oh, I need the 100 molecules of dopamine. So you better play. Oh, I can only produce 50 molecules of dopamine. Don't study. Go play. So it's actually your brain also telling you what to do. But if you decide once, no, I will keep the playing apart. Let me study. If I study, I pass the exams, and I will get, I will get a good opportunities in my life. That would be my goal. And then the brain thinks, okay, studying is better than playing. And maybe it will give you, when you win an exam, it will give you 120 molecules of dopamine. So what happens when you take substances like cigarette, alcohol, or cannabis? They hijack this pleasure system. Hijack means it is like kidnapping you. If you take, cigarettes, or if you take cannabis, what happens? It releases maybe 200 or 300 or 400 molecules of dopamine. So which will you prefer? The brain tells you, come on, go take a drink or go take a smoke. I am going to give you 300 molecules of dopamine. So will you prefer the 100 molecules of study, or the 100 or 50 molecules of dopamine that you get from ice cream? You will definitely go for uh, the substance, right, which gives you more dopamine. So what I'm trying to say is that the adolescent, the young brain, it is very flexible. It is actually looking at opportunities. What will give you pleasure? Is it studying that will give you pleasure? Or is it playing that it will give you pleasure? Or is it singing a song that is going to give you pleasure? Or is it being with your parents, being with your family that is going to give you pleasure? And the choice is made. So by 14 years or 15 years, we like our parents, but we also love our friends, we love our teachers. And usually friends become an important part of our life. It is said that one rotten apple can, destroy the whole basket. So if one friend, it might be one friend or some adult who might expose you to these substances, and your inability to say no to your friend, somebody who tells, see, come, take a puff with me, or come, let's enjoy a beer. And you say, oh, he's my good friend. He's my friend. How can I say no to him? So during this period of time, you actually like your friends. So it is sometimes difficult to say no to them, or sometimes difficult to say no to an adult, somebody who actually maybe exposes you to these substances. So that is also the difficult time, the adolescence, that most children or youngsters start substances at this period of time. So you are curious, you like to relax, you like to enjoy, you like your friends, and you want to try out new things. So all this can actually sometimes expose you to the world of substances, grave, difficult, problematic substances like cannabis, alcohol, and all. And what happens? Sometimes as we are growing up, we feel that, oh, see, Prithviraj or Nivin Pauly is drinking in. You see a movie and you see that your actors, your heroes are drinking or smoking, and you feel, oh, this is good. Or this is, this is like manliness. They are manly and smart because they are drinking or smoking. So that kinds of modeling, you start idolizing these heroes who may take all these things, and okay, when you are becoming grown-ups, maybe you can use all these things. But what happens? These modeling or sensationalized movies or films, which actually normalize the use of substances, they never tell you what happens when you get addicted to it. There are few movies like Vellam and all, which shows that spirit and all, which tells you how bad it is to your health. But usually one is carried away with the notion that it is a part of growing up, that it is a part of growing up to experience or experiment with these things. And when you start experiencing and experimenting with these things, you might not think about what your parents have told you, what your teachers have told you, how to say no to certain habits. You might not remember that. But always remember, the only way to, you know, be away from these hard substances which can cause addiction is to be interested or enjoying the normal pleasures of life. What are the normal pleasures of life? As I said, having, eating something which you like, right? Playing with your friends, hobbies like art, drawing, enjoying music or singing, playing an instrument. All these are alternative pleasures in life. It is stated that sports activities, sports, football, athletics, basketball, having an, being a part of these kind of sports activities actually keeps you healthy, and maybe, you know, hooked to them rather than to the substances. So this is the age, maybe 10 to 25 years, when you have to really be, uh, you have to really question yourself. What are your pleasures? Don't allow the hard substances or the addictive substances to become an important part of your life. You may know some grown-ups, maybe somebody in your family, some adults who might be using all these things. And you should understand that sometimes it can run in the families also. If if somebody in the family is taking these substances, we might also have the risk of being exposed to these substances. But it is your choice to understand that, where you can decide whether you need to take something which is not good for your health, which is not good for your mental health. So at the beginning, I said there are a lot of young people who believes that some substances are okay. Some substances will relax you or gives you some pleasure or might help you to focus. But as a mental health consultant or being a doctor of the mind, I can also tell you that these are the substances which can cause lack of concentration, lack of attention, impulsivity, risk-taking behaviors. That is why a person who is exposed to addictive substances, they can cause road traffic accidents. They can, they can pick up fights with people. You might end up with a bad relation with your parents, your teachers. You start questioning and arguing and becoming very angry easily. Tell me, how many of you gets offended if somebody asks you to keep your mobile away, stop, internet gaming or net gaming? If you start, sometimes you get irritated, right? If somebody tells you not to do something you like. So that's what happens with addiction also. If you start engaging in such behaviors, if somebody tells you to stop it, initially you may get irritated and upset. So you may not understand which is good for you and which is bad for you. So anger issues, academic issues. What happens, just as I told you earlier, these addictive substances can hijack your brain, the interest to study, the interest to maintain your academics, everything can suffer. And you might go behind in your academics. Academics is an important stepping stone for future success. And during the growing phase, that is what is affected. So you need to have today, this is a good day to decide whether you will take that choice of not going for these kind of substances and preferring the natural pleasures, like accepted pleasures like hobbies, interest in life. Also, taking substances, it can cause depression. Have you heard of the word depression? Yeah, depression, anxiety, and all these can lead to treatment and much difficulties with your health. So there is an act called NDPS Act, Narcotic Drugs and Psychoactive Substances Act. This act says that if you use some substances like cannabis, and you can be imprisoned for 1 year. If you repeatedly keep in possession these substances, you can be, booked, and even up to 10 years, 1 to 2 lakhs fine. So this is something which is not acceptable by the legal systems of our country also. So you all children have a choice. You all have the choice to engage in your life, to be, you have all got the opportunity to study. Corona is not going to take that away. You will definitely get back your academic atmosphere, your teachers, your opportunities like the science club, max club, and all, different opportunities to sharpen your mind. Enjoy that, grab onto that, keep away from the hard substances which can impair your mental faculties, which can impair your concentration, which can impair your attention, which can take away your motivation and destroy your mental peace and happiness. So that would be the only thing maybe as adults, parents, teachers might be expecting from you, that you do not lose focus, that you do not lose your goal, and you become successful citizens of tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk with you. If you have any doubts, you can ask me some questions if you want, or else we can go ahead with the program. Okay. Any doubts you want to ask me? You can ask me.
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Okay.
How did that word drug came?
Drug, yeah, that's a good question, right? Drugs means usually we think it's a medicine, right? It's a medicine, or sometimes we think that drugs are medicines. But why? Because in our brain, these chemicals act in the same way some medicines do. Drugs are, drugs is, I'm not saying that drugs is a medical term. It is a layman term. നമ്മൾ മയക്കുമരുന്ന് ഡ്രഗ്സ് എന്നൊക്കെ പറയത്തില്ലേ, ഡ്രഗ്സ് നാർക്കോട്ടിക്സ് ഇസ് എ ഡേർട്ടി ബിസിനസ് എന്നൊക്കെ പറയുന്ന ഫിലിമിലൊക്കെ കേട്ടിട്ടുണ്ടാവും. സോ യൂഷ്വലി the word drug is used commonly to address all the substances, mostly like hard drugs like brown sugar, opioids, which are available in the forms of tablets. So sometimes these drugs are taken in the form of tablets or as injections preparations. So to cover all, it's an umbrella term, sometimes the word drugs are used. But as doctors, as medical people, we don't call it as drugs, we call it as addictive substances, addiction. So substance abuse, that is substances causing addiction, that is the real word. But in films, maybe in movies and all, they usually use the word drugs to imply that these are taken usually as pills or tablets or as injections. Okay.
Ma'am,
Okay.
what is this tobacco?
What is tobacco? That's a good question, Monet. Tobacco is it is actually, it comes from a plant. It's a plant product. It's a plant. It's commonly seen in India also, like tobacco, Nicotiana tabacum. That is the plant from which it is obtained. It is used in different forms. Sometimes used as in cigarettes, and sometimes it's used as pan, murkan എന്നൊക്കെ പറയില്ലേ. Sometimes it can be used in other forms also. So there are two forms in in smoking and smokeless forms. Whatever it is, the chemical is nicotine, and that is the harmful substance which makes you addicted to it, which makes you hooked to it. You may not be the worst substance to use is tobacco. Why? Because after 15 minutes itself, you feel like taking it again and again. So the repetitive nature in which you feel like taking tobacco is the important grave concern associated with tobacco use disorders. Okay. So tobacco is one substance which causes a lot of addiction, causes a lot of health problems. It impairs the function of your lungs. It can cause cancer. It can worsen asthma. It can cause chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Your capacity to breathe, exercise, everything. The health itself comes down. Stopping tobacco itself can actually improve the health of a person. The risk of cardiac arrest, the risk of breathing problems, even the risk of contracting corona, everything comes down if you stop taking tobacco.
Ma'am, what is alcohol?
Okay, very young children are asking me questions because they are hearing it for the first time, right? Alcohol is something which is it's called ethyl alcohol. When you go to a higher classes, you will know that it's a chemical which is used, which actually acts on your brain, depresses it, relaxes it, also can cause addiction. So that is one commonly used substance in Kerala. And it's not good for your brain also, because it causes lot of addiction. A big fraction of people who uses these kind of substances in India can have alcohol use disorders. Okay.
Ma'am, from where did illicit trafficking came?
I didn't hear you.
Ma'am, from where did illicit trafficking came?
That's a big question. Maybe it's like a business. Some people try to market it and gain money and destroy the health of people who are using it. So it is like, it is not an acceptable business, and that is why it is illicit. That is why it is called illicit. That means it is illegal. It is against the law. And producing it, supplying it, that is what I said. The NDPS Act, the Narcotic Drugs Psychoactive Substances Act, it prevents the manufacture, production, distribution, selling of these kind of substances among the public. Okay.
Ma'am, ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, if somebody is giving me a drug, then how will I recognize it that it is a
Very good, very good. That's a good question, right? So you should really know your friends, and you should know, you should always remember that if your mind says that this is not a good thing, even if you like the person who is giving you an opportunity to use this, it's always better to say no. So you should always practice to say no and be assertive. And if somebody is very secretive, telling you to not tell anybody, telling you not to tell your parents that this is a very good thing for you, you should always, these kind of awareness classes is for you to know that these kind of problems are there in the society, and that you can be exposed to addictive substances, and people can make you, pull you to such a bad habit. So if they are very secretive, asking money for it or trying to sell things out to you and telling you not to tell your parents, then you should understand that it is a risky behavior and it is something against the rules. So don't do things that are against the rules and that can actually affect your health. So you should say no to such things.
Thank you, ma'am, for your thought-provoking words. Next, let us have poster display by the students of UP section.
Today, June 26th is observed as the International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking with the goal of freeing the society from these evils. Honoring this year's theme, Share Facts on Drugs, Save Lives, the students of the Science Club are here to present us a skit. Let us now welcome them to the stage.
లాలిజో లాలిజో నీ తండ్రి లాలేది భూమిలా ఒక వింతగా నీ గొంతే వింటుంది హో తండ్రైన తల్లిగా మారే నీ కావ్యం హో ఈ చిలిపి నవ్వుల గమనం సుధా ప్లావ్యం ఇరువురి రెండు గుండెలేకమయ్యను సూటిగా కవచములేని వాణ్ణి కాని కాచుత తోడుగా ఒకే ఒక్క శ్రు చాలు తోడే కొరగా లాలిజో లాలిజో నీ తండ్రి లాలేది భూమిలా ఒక వింతగా నీ గొంతే వింటుంది
Papa, why did you leave so early? You could have waited for us. Do you know how much our mother struggles? She's struggling day and night to educate me. I want to concentrate on my studies. I want to help her, but I can't. Have you got any idea about how she struggles? To whom should I go for help, Papa? Papa, help me, Papa.
Hello, Arnav.
Hello.
What's going on? I know you might be studying as usual. How boring it is. How can you sit for so long?
Things are not always the same, Ayu. Everything has changed. I don't know whether you will be able to understand my emotions. My father passed away. My mother is struggling like anything to feed me and to educate me. I want to help her out somewhere, but I can't. In fact, I feel depressed these days. I started hating this life. It's horrible. I don't want to live a life like this. You can understand my pain.
As a friend, I can understand your feelings, Arnav. And I am the only one who can help you out. I will help you overcome your depression. Tomorrow I will give you something.
I don't think it's needed, I. Let it be confined to me.
I am sending and you will try it. That's all. Bye.
Hello sir, this is Ayu here.
Hello, what's the progress?
As promised, I have got one more victim in addition to those whom I brought before. I haven't told him yet that we are going to supply him drugs. He's really intelligent and sharp. I don't think he will accept it.
That's fine.
We can trap him. I don't know what you will do, but you should convince him any way possible. Try to find out his weakness and make a shot on that. However, I want more and more of them.
Okay, sir.
Okay, I will send it to you then.
Hello?
Hello. There's something waiting for you outside your house. Go take the packet, and there is no harm. I hope you got it.
Oh, is it then? Let me go and get it. What is this, are you? Are you sure this is gonna help me?
Arnav, just go for it. Don't think twice. Your papa, who was the backbone of your family, just passed away recently, and your mother cannot handle all things alone. If just thinking that helping your mother is enough, you must study and achieve something. This will help you relieve from all your pain and suffering and will help you to study better.
But, are you?
That's all I wanted, Arnav, and now it's your choice. Bye.
Arnav, come, have your food. Have food all that you like. Come.
No, Ma. I don't want to have anything now. I don't feel hungry.
But Arnav,
Oh, please. Don't push me into something that I don't like. I am no longer a small baby. I know myself and I can handle myself. I don't want anyone's help. You're always after me. Can you please stop nagging me?
no, Arnav, that's not the case. You're misunderstanding me.
Would you shut up? If you don't want to be angry.
Arnav, Arnav, Arnav.
Pick the call.
Hello.
Hello? Hello, are you?
How many times do I have to say?
I called you several times, are you? You did not pick up or even call me back, are you? I am desperately in need of them, are you? I want it, are you? I can't live without it, are you? It's intolerable pain, are you? Do you know? I feel like my nerves are cracking. Sometimes I cannot breathe and I have hallucinations, are you? It's horrifying. Anu, please.
Stop irritating me, Arnav. I told you 1,000 times. This lockdown and all sources have been stopped. From where can I get it for you? And stop torturing me for it.
You are not a true friend, are you? You are a liar. Tell me from where you get it. I will go and get it. No matter what, at any risk, I want it, are you?
Arnav, you have truly gone mad. I can't do anything for you, and I don't even want to speak to you.
Are you?
Anna, Anna, open the door. Anna, open the door.
No, Ma. Don't come.
Oh God, was it to say this that I brought you up? Was it to say this that I took all my struggles, these pains, fighting against the world? Instead of making me the evidence of your decision, you to kill me, Hannah. I'm gonna kill you. Hannah? Hannah. You ruined all my expectations. All that happens is what it's a loop.
I know I was a good little boy. Wasn't I? Even I cannot realize how I fell into this trap. I want to be the same old boy. Ma, I don't want to be a burden to you. I just want to end this life.
No, Arnav. Don't hurt yourself. Dear, don't. There's a solution to everything. If you decide it, you will throw away the devil out of you. You can. Like always, I'll be there for you. I'll be always there for you. We can meet a psychiatrist. I'm sure it might help you. I'm really sure that it might help you. Don't worry. What? What happened to him?
Calm down. He is okay. Yeah, but there's something to worry about. He is addicted to drugs, and that is what brought him down to this condition.
Oh my God, I couldn't even recognize his transformation.
Nowadays, parents trust their children very much. It is not that they shouldn't, but must keep a watch over them, especially their friendships. Slight changes in behavior must not be ignored because they grow bigger. Drugs appear as a solution to all problems, but they aren't. Actually, it destroys you.
I can understand, they're just relief.
Yeah, they affect you badly. They result in drowsiness, moody behavior, change in eating habits, loss of interest in hobbies.
Arnav never wanted to have food. I thought he wanted to concentrate in studies. But now I realize.
Past is past. Leave it. Now what we have to think about is how we can bring him back to normal life. And only you can do that. Most of the people ignore these kind of people. But what we should do actually is to cure them with love and affection. They should not feel lonely. At extreme cases, you can seek help from specialists or from rehabilitation centers or de-addiction centers.
I'm sure I'm able to bring him back without any professional measures.
For sure. Believe in yourself. You can do it. All the best.
Hello, doctor?
So, how's Arnav now?
Nobody can believe him, how drastically he has changed. I'm so happy that he is leading healthy lifestyle now.
Very good. Let things go in the same manner. All the best. Bye.
Bye, doctor. Hello?
Hello, ma'am. I'm Arnav's teacher. There is good news for you.
Oh, just tell me. What is it that you're so happy?
In spite of losing a lot of classes, Arnav has become the topper of our school, and it is a very proud moment for all of us.
I hope all of us enjoyed the mind-blowing skit about the danger of drug abuse in children. Thank you all actors for a spectacular performance. Thank you very much. Next, we are going to take a pledge. I invite Iron Sonu from class 9 to deliver the pledge against the drug abuse.
We Christ Nagarians, as a new generation, pledge to grow up safe, healthy and drug-free by understanding the dangers of drug use and abuse. We will free those who use drugs from their addiction, myself being drug-free, spreading the word to family and friends about the importance of being healthy and drug-free.
Now I would like to invite Aman Khandi of class 9 to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thankfulness is the beginning of gratitude. Gratitude is the completion of thankfulness. Thankfulness may consist merely of words. Gratitude is shown in acts. Good evening, everyone. So, we have reached the end of this beautiful function. Today, I, Aman Khan, take the opportunity to put my gratitude into words. First of all, I would like to thank Almighty God for making today's function a great success. On behalf of the school management and all students, I would like to extend my heartiest thanks to our Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Sheenaji Soman Ma'am, for her graceful presence in this function. Thank you, Doctor, for inspiring and enlightening us with your motivating words. You are an exemplary person, and we have a lot to learn from you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Wholeheartedly, I must thank our principal, Reverend Father Dr. Matthew Tengumbali CMI, for his authoritative guidance, support, and innovative thinking for organizing this event. Thanks for assisting and encouraging all of us with your blessed personality. We have been fortunate enough to get the great support of our teachers and staffs of our school for making this function successful. We all students know Teachers are second mother of student. Our teachers' dedication and hard work made this function a beautiful end. Thank you so much, teachers and staffs. I thank all parents for their wholehearted presence in this evening to support us. Heartfelt congratulations to the organizing team and the participants for your hard work, which has made this function a memorable one for all of us. Finally, I would like to thank all the students and friends who made this event happy with their impressive performance. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे